Everyone loves whiskey, but not everyone can agree on which whiskey is the best. So today we're gonna find out in a game of let's try us some whiskey. Which one is the best? Wait!
Before we start, shouldn't we know what makes each whiskey different?
You got a point there, brother. So for our first whiskey, we got Scotch. Now, Scotch is obviously made in, you guessed it, Scotland. It also has to be aged in an oak barrel for at least 3 years. Next up, we got the Tennessee Whiskey.
I am 110% Tennessee.
Now this guy, of course, has to be made in Tennessee. It also has to be made out of mash bill that's at least 51% corn. The whiskey is distilled no higher than 80% alcohol by volume, and it can't be barreled over 125 proof. Next up, we got bourbon. Now, bourbon is a grain whiskey. It has to be aged in a new charred barrel made from American white oak. Next up, we got the Canadian whiskey, eh? Now, our brothers in the North have perfected whiskey for a long time. Now, Canadian whiskey must be aged for at least 3 years, but there's no requirement on the type of barrel distillers use. It contains a high percentage of corn, making it lighter, smoother, and less flavorful than American whiskey. Sorry, Canada. Next up, we got the Japanese whiskey. Now, the Scots must be doing something right because the Japanese whiskey was made to mimic the taste of Scotch. Japanese whiskey is known for its impeccably high standards and also makes a perfect partner in crime with a standard mixed drink. Now, for the last whiskey, we have Irish whiskey. Now, Irish whiskey is actually the very first distilled whiskey, giving it the name. Irish whiskey can only be made in Ireland or North Ireland, and it uses mash of malt, distilled water, and caramel coloring, and then aged in wood caskets for 3 years before it's ready for consumption. Alright guys, so for our first drink, we got the Jack Daniels. This is a Tennessee whiskey. It's a staple in any home bar. Now Jason's gonna give a fun fact about Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, you know, it is so popular that even Frank Sinatra, after he passed away, he loved it so much, he was buried with the bottle.
Gotta be buried with the Jack. Now let's give this a taste. Give me a cheers. What, in the comments, leave down below, what's your favorite whiskey? Tastes like Jack. I love me Jack. Jack is one of my faves.
Yeah, and it's one of the darkers.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like, I mean, like, there's obviously like way better drinks. Like, we just had some Black Label Scotch. You know, that was really good, 12 years aged, delicious. But sometimes if you're just like, if you want to go have a few drinks with the buddy at you know, having a barbecue, you can just grab a bottle of Jack and it's perfect. I think it's a staple. I think we should start at a number 4.
Let's do it.
Did I get that right? For looking at you guys?
4's right here, bud.
I'm developing as a human being. Nope. Let's do the next drink. Next up, we got the Canadian whiskey, the Crown Royal. This is his boo. This is the drink Jason loves more than his wife.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully she's not watching. If you are, I'm sorry, JC. Give a fun fact about Crown Royal, Jason.
So, Crown Royal was only allowed in Canada up until 1964.
Crazy. So they finally decided to share some love. That's wild. Let's give it a taste. Like I was saying before, it is a lot less flavorful.
It is.
I don't like it as much. I know it's your boo, but it just tastes like...
No, the thing about it is it's so light that you can keep drinking it. It's not one of those things that you're gonna, you know, put a nipple on and just suck throughout the night. No, this is, you can actually toss a couple drinks back.
No, that's not true. I don't agree. Just because it still tastes like alcohol. It just tastes more like alcohol than like malt and bar. Taste this to this. Like, I mean, just smell it. It has so much more caramel and like, it has more character. I think it should go to, for you, I'll give it a 3, but, or I'm sorry, a 4, but I'm not.
Put a nipple on it and just suck throughout the night, no.
Well, let's do it at 4 and let's see where it ends up on the board. Can't be last. We do got Japanese whiskey on here.
Yeah, I don't like it. That's not it. Nope, that's not it. Let's do the next drink. Next up, we got bourbon. Now this is the Bulleit Bourbon. Let's get our fun fact from Jason.
Yeah, so this is a quite new bourbon on the board. So all these other ones have been around for a couple hundred years. This one hasn't. So the owner of this, he had barbecue in mind when he made this. So this is the barbecue's drink.
Because we've had this before back in the day. It's been a while though.
That is way worse than the Crown.
I like it.
Because it's a rye whiskey.
I like rye whiskey, huh? I think I do. I think it's something like I like I like wheat bread. All right, I'm not a white guy. I'm not into white bread. I like the dark bread.
He's not into white guys.
I'm not into white guys. I'm into white bread. Bruh. I'm not into white bread. I like wheat bread. I'm gonna have to cut this at some point. I like wheat bread.
Man,
I really don't like the taste of that Crown. This tastes better.
okay.
Would you agree?
Let's try it out.
Alright, let's try it out, because I'm the goddamn man who makes the rules around here! I'm raging, sorry. I'm having a rough day. Let's do the next drink. Next up, we have the good old Jameson. This is an Irish whiskey. Now let's get a fun fact.
So fun fact, this isn't just for Jameson, this is for this bottle. So they collaborated with a partner distillery. They collaborated with a partner distillery in order. So they had stouts. Jameson gave their those barrels, and they made the whiskey to stout. To age their stouts, whiskey barrels.
Just say they made whiskey out of beer barrels. Jesus Christ. They made whiskey out of beer barrels. There we go. It's fucking awesome. Perfect. Jesus.
It's like a 20-year history.
Oh my god. Alright. Alright, let's give this sucker a taste. Tink. That's good. It has a
hoppy taste to it.
Almost like a dark beer that you put a shot into.
Yeah,
vodka.
exactly.
We should have probably grabbed a regular Jameson Scotch, but we didn't. So I like it.
I think it's better than the Jack.
I think it's good. I agree.
I think it goes above the Jack.
Jack is still a good whiskey. I do think this tastes better though. I think we should move it up.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do the next drink. Next up, we got the Johnny Walker Red Label. Now, this is a Scotch. Johnny Walker is super popular. I love Johnny Walker. The Black Label is amazing. Let's get our fun fact.
Going off of what you said, yes, Johnny Walker is very popular. It is the most popular whiskey in the entire world.
Cheers.
Ooh, that smells very nutty. Mmm.
This is really good. This has really nice flavor. It's really smooth. Like, it doesn't burn.
But it has that, like, pungent...
it's a very strong taste.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like almost like you had a glass and you covered it in smoke, right? And then you pulled it off, so you're getting all the smoke aroma, all the taste, and then you're drinking the drink. So I really like it. This is
100%.
definitely...
I think this is first.
Johnny Walker takes first place for now, and now we have the final. Don't go anywhere because we're doing the Japanese whiskey. Now, neither of us have had Japanese whiskey, so we're super excited. We'll see you in a second. All right, for the last drink, we got the Yamazaki, which is the Japanese whiskey. Now, this is normally drink hot or warm. We are drinking it iced. It's totally fine. It's the same thing. Not really, but it's, you know, it's like sake. You can still drink it cold. Now, Jason has a very, very interesting fact for you guys on this one.
Okay, so after World War II, when their sales skyrocketed, in the late 1960s, their sales plummeted. So what they did was they took their old whiskey that was 10, 12 plus years old, they took the labels off it, slapped on a new label saying it was a year old, and resold it. And they were selling them off the shelves.
Crazy. That Japanese people, I'm sorry guys, you might not know much about whiskey because you want that shit to be old, so that's crazy. Let's give this thing a taste. I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, I do not like how this smells.
No, and this is our first, this is like a live reaction. I've never had it.
It's God, no, it's not very good. It's, it doesn't taste like a whiskey. It actually is really, really light.
Yeah.
And there's none of that like earthy tones. There's no barley tones. But I think this should go to number 6. I don't like it.
No, neither do I. They need to stick to their sake.
So this is the lineup, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And remember, stay boozy.